Hi, I'm Mary Lanham. Among other tasks, I help coordinate adult programming here in the library. I am also the head of our special collection, so I oversee our genealogy collection.
Tell me about this event here today and how it's put together of you.
Well, I try to gather local authors here in our region and from a little farther away to feature books and also small presses. And this year we have a literary crafter in, so that's exciting. We do have a local author collection, so that ties into it, but we always want to feature our local talent here.
And usually this is pretty well received. You get pretty good crowds.
Yeah, we get good crowds here. People are always excited to see our local celebrities here, so and to meet the authors and get the authors to sign their books. Yeah, I mean it's always a good crowd. I'm gonna do 6.
Hey everyone, my name is Eric Lappin and I'm excited to be here. I'm the editor for my partner Jana Majette Butler, our book Go Follow Lead.
Tell me about the book. What's it about?
Yeah, so Go Follow Lead is a mixture of Jana's personal story through leadership and authentically finding who you are. It's a mixture of her personal story with workshop ideas and ways that you can become both a better leader and a better follower.
And how important are these local author events to you guys?
Oh, this is a wonderful way for us to get out, meet some people, talk about what it is that we do, and hopefully help others find their go and be better leaders.
My name is Mariana Rio Ramirez, and I am a Mexican children's book author.
Tell me about your book.
Yes, this is my debut book. Its name is Santiago's Dinosaurios, and it's published by Albert Whitman and Company. It released in October 27, 2022, and it's about this Mexican little boy, Santiago. He's a first grader who moved to US from Mexico, so he's facing his first day of school without speaking English. So through his day, he will have different relationships with classmates and teachers. And what seemed to be in the beginning a dinosaur-sized problem will be shrinking in size, and by the end of the day, he'll realize that he's going to be okay. It's going to take time, but he'll be able to speak English soon.
Is this your first book?
Yes.
And how long did it take you to write?
It took me about maybe a year and a half to perfect it, and then from when I signed my book deal to when it got released, it was a year and 7 months.
And how important are events like this, local authors, to you and to your books?
I think they are very important so that readers can get to know the books, that they can get to know the authors too, and to fall in love with the stories we tell. So I'm very grateful to have this chance to be here today.
I'm Robert Maynor.
And tell me what name of your book and what it's about.
So my book's called The Big Game is Every Night. It's a coming-of-age story set in the low country of South Carolina, where I'm from, about a young boy that's playing football, experiences a devastating injury and is then trying to figure out sort of how to make a new life from there.
Is this your first book?
Yeah, this is my first book.
How did you come to write this?
So I've always been interested in stories and always focused on writing, and so this story in particular sort of consumed my interest, and so I've been working on it for the last few years and published it earlier this year with Hub City Press based in Spartanburg.
And what's your writing process like? How long is it? How much do you write? How much do you work on?
I wake up early and write first thing in the morning, and this book was written over a course of about 3 years, kind of in spurts and in sections early in the morning.
And how important are these local author events to you and to getting the word out about your book?
These are great. It's great to meet other folks and be able to talk a little bit about my writing and just get out. Writing is often a very sort of lonely process, so it's always nice to be able to get out and share that process and the product with folks.
Well, the thought first crossed my mind several years ago when I was coaching in the Greenville County League youth football, middle school kids that were playing football back before Greenville County schools even had middle school football. And of course, I played at the University of Georgia and also coached at Georgia Southern with Coach Eric Russell. And he had a unique defense that would attack your opponents, and it's called a split 60 defense. And there's so much written about Coach Russell, all the different ways he motivated his players, but not anything about his defensive strategy that he used to win all those championships. You know, and his last year happened to be my last year at Georgia. We went undefeated, beat Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship. And then down at Georgia Southern, Coach Russell starts a football program. And he was the head coach there for 8 years. And after those 8 years, he had won 3 Division I 2A national championships using the split 60 defense. So the 2021 Georgia team, which happens to be 41 years later when we won it in 1980, happened to be my number. And so it seemed like the stars were aligned perfectly to go ahead and write the book, in which I did. And it's been published now a little over a year. It's been sold in 2 countries, 32 states, to football coaches at all levels of football except the NFL, which I haven't really marketed yet.
I am Kaylee Bright.
And tell me about your book.
It is a young adult fantasy trilogy in a world similar to Red Queen, where there are people with supernatural powers named Gifteds, and those who don't, called Unfortunates. So our main character, Nora, she's an unfortunate who has to persevere despite her disadvantages as an unfortunate in a gifted world.
And how long have you been interested in writing?
I've been interested in writing all my life. I actually started as a fan fiction writer in 2013 with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan fiction, and that kickstarted my intrigue.
And are you still writing to the series? I mean, you're writing. Tell me about your writing process.
Oh goodness, my writing process has really changed over the years. When I originally started, I did block-based time frames where I wrote, and now because I'm a full-time software developer as well as a writer, I do it during the night hours.
And are there any authors that influenced you that you?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I love Ray Bradbury. Okay, so I would say influential writers would be Ray Bradbury, Aldous Huxley, and Kate Chopin. My friends are very supportive of me. Typically, I have 1 or 2 of them come to either support the event or help me assist. And then I would say my biggest fan is by far my mother. She always advocates for me, and I appreciate her greatly.